Use fund balance. Once it's used, it's gone. So what happens is we're running out of time and running out of options because we've done all three of these going into our 5th year. What we're saying is, gee, if there wasn't a GEA, if there was no cut, life would be a lot easier in schools. But there's more to it than that. When you cut staff and program, when you have increasing standards, that means it's harder to get the kids to do well. So there's people out there that say, well, money's not the answer. No, it's never the answer when you have it. If I started walking around here handing out $100 bills, and all of a sudden I decide, just before I got off the stage with my pocket of money handing $100 bills, I said, wait a minute, money's not the answer. Wouldn't you rather have the 100? The part that kills me is the other people are collecting the 100 and you're not. They're called the wealthy districts. This political dynamic called state aid is actually hurting districts like yours, low wealth districts. I'm going to show you how wealthy they are or they aren't. Here's each of the 10 districts in the room, and here is their wealth measures. So let me show you how to read this so you're an enlightened citizen. This is the property wealth. Central Valley's property wealth is less than a third of the state average. Little Falls at 40%. You see how it works? The highest property values you have are technically in Poland. 1.2. 0.2 of a point above statistical average, barely making average. But this is your income value. Look at the income value. Less than half the state average. Less than half, half, less than half. What do you pay your taxes with? Your property, or you pay it with your money? You pay it with your money. The truth of it is, when you take these values and cut them in half and add them together, this is the relative wealth. Ilion Mohawk now is one of the poorest school districts in the state of New York. And the amount of their cut is horrific. And look at these. Look at all of them. You don't have any that are average. The closest you've got is 88% of average, which means that district that's basically at 52.8 is what, 70 times wealthier than your wealthiest district? And their state aid cut is less per child than yours. So there's another measure of wealth. It's called free and reduced lunch. Kids who can get a free and reduced lunch. Look at these. West Canada, 60%. Herkimer, almost 60%. You can look at the list all the way down. Frankfurt is the best you've got at almost 50%. So by any way you measure it, you need as much help as you can get. I'd like to know is, where's the help? We're supposed to have nanotech move in here soon, right? All those PhDs in engineering, physics, nanotechnology. If we don't get these schools on track with the amount of state support that they need, are we going to attract those type of people to move in our communities? Or are they going to commute? We're on the thruway. The point is we need vibrant schools, and you're being shortchanged. You see, it all starts with this. There's different kinds of state aid. One was called the Foundation Aid Program. It started in 2007-8. And what they were going to do is, in 2007-8, they were going to infuse into all the school districts in the state about $5.5 billion because they wanted all the kids to have a Regents diploma. They started all the new state assessments and tests. They started remediation for all students. Even special ed kids had to pass the Regents. So what they did is they started this Foundation Aid Program to help schools. Then there's building aid, because you've done some building, you've seen some building in your area. There's other aids too. There's aids for BOCES, and there's aids for transportation, and so on. But it's not just that you get the aid. For instance, everybody in here that's employed gets a paycheck. But do you ever think it's enough to accomplish the goals you have for you and your family? Maybe not. The key thing is, it's not that you get aid, it's how it's distributed and how much it is. That's the key to life. But the interesting thing is, even though they create these aids, they came up with this gap elimination adjustment to subtract from it. Let me show you. So foundation aid across the state was almost $15 billion. The building aid was $2.489 billion. The other aids were $4. And then you'll see this gap elimination adjustment. So you start saying, what the heck's going on here? How does this work? See, here's how it works. I have a granddaughter named Gracie. And Gracie is one of the prides of my life. I have 5 grandchildren. And Gracie one day is over, and I say, listen, Gracie, help Grandpa out a little bit here. See if I understand this right. I need help shredding in my office, shredding some papers. Could you work like 10 hours a week, and I'll give you $1 an hour. I'll give you $10 a week. She says, Grandpa, sure, I'd do that. I said, $10, Gracie, that's quite a bit. You know, you're in 4th grade now. She goes, wow, I wanted some earbuds. I wanted to get some games, you know. Hey, you can do it now. You're going to get $10 a week. That's all you got to do is shred the papers for Grandpa. She goes, okay, I'll do it. So I said, okay, Gracie, great. So at the end of the first week, I give her $10. This kid is on 7th Eden. She's very proud of herself. The next week comes along. I said, Gracie, it's payday. She goes, Grandpa, I've been waiting all day for this. I said, here you go, honey. Here's $8. She says, Grandpa, the deal was 10. I said, I know, honey, but I have a gap. I have to eliminate something, so I'm going to adjust your pay. She said, well, geez, Grandma, it doesn't sound very fair. I said, look, Gracie, it's all I got, okay? So suck it up and just be good, will you? So she kind of grumbles and walks away. Next week comes along, I said, Gracie's payday again. She goes, oh, Grandpa, please, is this going to be good? I said, this is going to be great. Here's $7. She goes, Grandpa, the deal was 10. You only gave me 8 last week. I said, Gracie, your grandfather knows that. Would I cheat you? I have a gap. I have to eliminate it by adjusting something, and it's your pay. Now, do you think Gracie feels like she's being treated fairly even though we had a deal? I'd say no. But interestingly enough, the week after that, I had some unbelievably good foreign news for her. I said, Gracie, I'm going to give you a raise. She says, Grandpa, you're kidding. I said, nope, long overdue, sweetheart. Here you go, $7.25. She goes, this isn't a raise. I was supposed to get 10. I said, look, I had these gaps. It's more than you got last month. Quit crying about it. And that's what's happened to you. So let's see here. Here's your first, you had $10 first, and here's your first gap elimination. Here's Gracie's $8. Here's Gracie's $7. And here's Gracie's $7.25. Because the governor and state government and legislators have been pointing out that we have increased state aid. Gracie in 4th grade wouldn't fall for that. Why should we? It's really a reduction of the reduction. And they're going to do it again. Because this year they said, look, what we're going to do is we're going to actually just reduce, we're going to actually give you a state aid increase. See, the increase is from, we used to take $2.15 away from you. Now we're only going to take $1.63 away from you. See, you got a raise. And what is the paper print? What do they have on TV? What do they show? We're going to show the increases in state aid to all the school districts. And then you, as good citizens, read it and think, what's going on in that school? They get raising taxes. It just got more state aid. Well, Gracie still isn't back to the $10, and neither are you. So far, what does this raise cost? This raise has cost $8.5 billion across the state. That's the amount of GEA, this cut. They've taken all this away. Now, do you think schools in the state would be carrying on like they are now, holding these forums, if they had given us the even $8.5